Let's talk about your memoir assignment. I want you to write about a personal experience. You should try to limit the scope of, uh, of the experience that you write about. Write about something that takes place in a day or even in a few hours or maybe a weekend, rather than writing a long overview of something that takes place over a longer time. This will make it easier for you to focus and to bring the event to life in the reader's mind. In the Liars Club, which you've been reading, Mary Carr puts the reader into the story immediately. Many of you made note of this on your comments on the discussion. She puts the reader in the story immediately by starting with a scene. She doesn't bore you with a bunch of background information. You can work in the background information later, but the beginning is super important. You need to put the reader into a scene. Um, she also focuses on a few small details. You'll notice that she describes the pattern on her nightgown and the doctor's mustache that looks like a caterpillar. And by focusing on details, she allows you, the reader, to fill in the rest of the picture in your mind. Um, you are creating a scene in your mind from the few details she has given you. This is the essence of creative writing, that each reader participates in the process. We each see a different picture and rely on our own experiences to fill the picture in. Um, and and we experience life in scenes. So two important things to keep in mind as you work on your memoirs. Choose an incident that you can depict in a scene that's not too large of an incident, because we're not writing a full-length memoir here. We're writing about 5 to 10 pages. So choose a scene of subsequent of dimension that you can handle, and um, give the reader a few choice, well-described, specific details to hang on to. I want to look at a couple of sample memoirs, which you can see on your screen. In sample one, the writer is writing about a particular experience she had at the Beardsley Zoo in Connecticut. And she starts with quite a bit of introduction, um, and explains the Beardsley Explorer program. And it takes her a while, not until page 2 do we get into the day in question, where she and her fellow explorers take animals out to a fundraiser and show them to members of the public. Um, so there's that. I want to also look at another sample. Here we have it. Drag the Let's drag the window over to it, or drag the sample over to the window. Uh, okay, I'm not able to do that because I'm just not able to do it. There we go. And this one's a little better, but again, starting off with a lot of exposition. Um, that, a lot of rumination, if you will. I remember not knowing what a truck was or why it needed to be so big. This one's a little bit better because by the time we're at the bottom of page 1, you can see that we're in a scene. There's some dialogue. There's the kid's impression of the kayaks, um, and there's we know we're there. We're with this kid who's bewildered by these plastic holes that he's supposed to take out into the water, and he's afraid they're going to sink. And we're immediately, or fairly immediately, in the scene. I still think we could lose a lot of this stuff up at the top, um, and um, get right into the scene without um, some of the author kind of talking to himself. But this is a much better start than as seen in the first sample. You're probably going to want to take a couple of stabs at this, more than a couple. You're probably going to want to refine the introduction to your memoir a number of times. My advice is to just get started, and write toward the story that you want to tell, and go back and revise the beginning. Um, One of the things we're going to talk about a lot in this class is the art of revision. Every writer revises. The most accomplished novelists on the New York Times bestseller list revise their work many, many times before they submit it for publication. And there's an art to doing that. So your so what I advise you to do is not be stopped by trying to write the perfect introduction, but write an introduction that's good enough for you to get into writing the rest of the story. Um, I've been working on a long novel for the last couple of years, and I'm now in the third rewrite. And the first rewrite really was to get the story down on paper or on computer screen. The second rewrite is to iron out all the mistakes that I made in continuity. If I said something contradictory about one character in chapter one that contradicted something in chapter six, I tried to go back and fix that, and trying to iron out some of the unnecessary pieces of background information that I put in there, as much for my own information as the readers. And the third draft through, I'm working on the level of the sentence. There'll probably be a fourth draft where I continue to work on the level of the sentence, cleaning up the language and streamlining the work as much as possible. And you should take the same approach with your memoir, or a similar approach. Write the thing first, put it away for a night, look at it the next day, um, and focus especially on the beginning, because as several of you noticed in the discussion, the beginning is super important. One of the reasons the Liars Club works is that you are drawn into the story of this girl's life right away on page one. Um, so, uh, and you will have a chance to rewrite this memoir a final time before the end of the class. But I do expect to, by the time you submit it for a grade, have gone over it 2 or 3 times. So I'll stop here, look at this video, see if I've repeated myself, which I'm sure I have, and as always, feel free to contact me with any questions that you might have. Our next class, office hours / Google Hangout, is scheduled for Thursday, the 23rd. I'll have one of these every week, um, and I will be here in the office online. Please feel free to drop by. Please feel free also to send me an email.